We are here for the final game of the day, and this could be one of the biggest upsets we would ever see in the LJL. I'm not going to lie, if V3 pick up the dub here, this is insanity, you know? Like, the odds are stacked, but you never know. A stone can sometimes be all you need to go from winning and losing. David Goliath match up here. That's what I'm talking about. RMC looking a bit confused. But with this one being said, RMC, what's V3's way to success? Because I feel like DFM don't give many options. You know, they're pretty good on the early game.
I was thinking, when you're talking about stones for a second there, Jerry, I was thinking even stone, I'm not taking those odds on V3 right now. It would take an act of God, honestly, at this point here. And it's no knock on V3, don't get me wrong. Sengoku is incredibly good. I actually think DFM has also really shaped up in that first round robin there. They are now the best early game team, which was where they were last split already. So it's more just that I think DFM might be the strongest team here, even into Sengoku. I cannot wait for them to face off. So for V3, it's going to be a struggle because V3 strength has been the early game and their weakness has been the mid to late. And you're now playing the best early game team in the league. That's a rough one, J-Real. I just don't see a way for them to come in unless DFM really screw something up.
Yeah, and Echo, you've casted a few V3 games. They've not been the fastest gameplays. You know, it's been a lot of slow deaths. But talking about deaths, let's see who doesn't die. KDAs are going to be coming up on your screen right now because this is insane. There are some crazy stats right here. Yaharong has died once.
That's, I mean, that's actually saying, I'm not to flex, but I hear Burning Core is the one that actually killed him. I'm gonna just throw it out there. But I'm just saying, points for them. But yeah, I don't even know, like, what do I do with this info? Like, do I clap? Do I leave? Because
my dude has an 80 KDA.
That is insane. Like, that is absurd. That's a flex. And like this, I feel like this also this is why RMC looked so confused when you made that David versus Goliath reference, because it's like David's like a 2-year-old right now. I feel like in this analogy, dude, it's like my man is like a toddler right now, and he's got to go up against like a 300-pound 7-foot guy right now. Like, things are not looking good for V3 this time around. But hey, if you live in the parallel universe, who knows? There might be one where V3 lives, and maybe this is that one. Who knows?
Maybe.
Welcome to the multiverse of madness.
As well of the day, we have another one for you guys. It's solo kills. Okay. Now, obviously, DFM really good solo laners. Evie picking up multiple. Yaharong also picking up some. Utapon as well picking up some. But Yu-Gi-Oh does find solo kills. Is this potentially V3's way into this game?
Okay. Now, when you said before, Jerry, that's stats don't lie. This is why I hesitate on that, because sure, Yu-Gi-Oh's on the board, but let's not forget that he has 2 solo kills over 8 games here to make it on the board. So I do think Yu-Gi-Oh is massive for V3, and they have to play around him. I think that's been one of their big lose conditions, is when they fight without Yu-Gi-Oh. So yes, he's very, very important. But come on, man. Utapon, Yaharong, and Evie, 3 members of DFM all made that list as well. Like,
all I'm saying, Yu-Gi-Oh, same number of solo kills as Jet. Hashtag Yu-Gi-Oh better.
Yu-Gi-Oh better than Jet?
No. If we can bring it back to us, it's I don't know if we get. Like, I'm glad we said that without the faces, because I don't know if I could have kept a straight face while saying that one. That was a bit mad, but you never know. Things do happen. Crazy things do happen with DFM. Yes, they are looking very, very strong. I think, to be honest, having just some sort of presence from V3 is what I'm actually looking for in this game. If they can just show up and be like, you know what? Actually, you were kind of competitive, then that is what I want to see. Because I feel like V3 have kind of either had pretty close games or not particularly existent games. And I kind of want them to even that one out a little bit more. Who knows? Maybe they'll find something that brings them back into the game. It's very fire quick question. Actually, no, we're not going to go for the fire quick question. I was waiting for this one. We're going to go into draft. When you're in draft, let me know what you think they could maybe pick up that picks them up the win. But let's get into it. Game 4, Echo, RMC. Let's get it done.
All right, let's get right into it. And RMC, I'll let you answer this question here. Tell me, please. Tell everyone. Tell V3. What do they need to do, man, if they want to stay in this?
I mean, the one pick that's looked good for V3 is Swing. So I kind of want to see Yujio and Swain, but I think that needs a Silas ban right now because Yeharong does play Silas, and we've seen that teams have figured out the answer to that Swain pick being Silas here. So that, or even potentially the Corki for Yujio, and then tankiness. Tankiness coming out of somewhere here. Washidai's been playing a lot of Nar, and it's been a little hit or miss. Oh, no, Swain.
No, they heard you, man. You said it too loud, man. DFM, they caught the comms. They intercepted the message before it got to V3, and so they banned the Swain out. That will not be coming out for V3. Yeah, I mean, you just got to find something else now.
I say if they ban a Corki Echo, I'm all out on ideas right now for V3. I really don't know what they can do. It's kind of that rough right now because I think Yujio has been the big carry for this team. Washidai has had some pop-off performances here or there, but not consistently enough. And Unica, Driscoll, and Hetzel just have not really been sufficient for me. Now, the Zoe ban is something that Yujio has played, so DFM are still recognizing the win con in that mid lane here. But they're feeling that Zoe is a bigger threat than the Corki, and I think Corki is blindable if V3 want it. Certainly more so than a Gnar. They've done this multiple times, and every time, man, blind Gnar is never the answer.
Yeah, I was getting excited as well, seeing the Shyvana hover. Thought maybe we're gonna change it up, do something crazy here, but nope, to no avail. Actually, we are seeing. Oh my God, damn, DFM instantly locking in that bot lane, getting the Kalista, getting the Renata. They are looking. I mean, you know, I feel like this is honestly to be expected, right? This is the team that is the most aggressive team in the early game. What better pick than the Kalista?
Exactly. We already touched on, you know, how Kalista functions. She's probably one of the best, if not the best, early game AD carry right now. Lucian was taken off the board as well here, so not even close. And yeah, for DFM, like you said, the best early game team right now. So obviously they're going for that. Aphelios being answered by V3 here. We've seen Aphelios being able to win the 2v2 at times. It really depends on the guns. If it's red, white, and DFM don't respect that, maybe they can find a kill. If you want to do that though, then you need an engage support. Yep, there you go. Nautilus or Leona usually sort of the pairing to go with that.
Yeah, a little bit of engage a threat, keep DFM off your heels, but DFM they don't scare easily. That's all I'm gonna say. They do not scare easily. Oh, now come down to their last pick, and then we go into the second phase of bans here. I'm curious to see who they look to pick up here. They know what's going up in the top lane, and they are actually gonna go ahead and lock at the Poppy. Flexible, jungle, top. Gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, and as much as we think of Poppy as a disengaged champion, yes, she is, but she's also got a really nasty early game. If you run, you know, like Dark Harvest, for example, or Electrocute, you can definitely burst down.
What's this forbidden tech you speak of? Oh my God.
It's not even that forbidden. I think Dark Harvest is actually what they ran in spring for the majority of it. It's just what you run with Poppy here. You don't really run defensive stats. Or Predator was the other one that we saw a lot from Poppy for that burst damage. So yeah, I mean, just run one of those, right? And you've got really good early game. Both teams now looking for their solo lanes here, and DFM will have counter pick. And one of the stats we saw was that Ebby currently leading the solo kills. I wouldn't be surprised if DFM end up leaving counter pick for Ebby in that top side here to continue dominating the 1v1.
Yeah. Oh. You know, I was just gonna make a remark about how we went to this like Bilgewater-esque music, and we do see the Gangplank band coming. Actually, I'm kind of sad now. I was getting hyped up with the DJ Sona as your prod. If we get that switch, I'd love you to death. I was getting hyped, but regardless, that's not what's important. I'm focusing on the music when I should be focusing on the bands here, as we see Trundle as well being taken off the board, and now with the last band coming out from V3, and then we can start to get a better idea as to what we're looking at here. Gonna take their time thinking this one over. This is the last time you get the chance to take one of the many champs in DFM's roster off the board.
But there's too many here to really try to focus out. What are you gonna do? Ebby's played 7 different champs over the last 8 games. Yeharong in the mid lane's played 6 unique champions as well over 8 games, with the only repeat being Ari. So what you gonna ban? Sejuani, yeah, they're still focusing Ebby out a little bit. I think it says a lot that Ebby's probably the only top laner in the LJL where he can blind the Sejuani, and I'd still be like, okay, that's actually doable. Like, I do not like blind Sejuani, and Ebby can pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, Ebby can just pull off anything at this point. It almost feels like, as long last split, at least, as long as you didn't have him on Tryndamere, like you felt somewhat secure, but there was always like, you know what I mean? But
come on, his shit was fine. yeah, he died a couple of times without pressing alt, but he still won late. It was the never alt Tryndamere challenge, and Evie won it.
Exactly. I hope he got his R key fixed this time around. I hope it's back on his keyboard. Man, like hit his keyboard one too many times. The keycap just straight up like flew off. But regardless, I think the Volibear being one game late. We wanted to see that Volibear being dropped last game, but at least we get to see it today.
At patch 12.12, Viego did get nerfed. Interestingly, finally, I think teams in the LJL have caught on. So Unica, 5 games of Viego, not going to go back onto it, despite having it open here. And now they've got a nice tanky front line. They desperately need damage. Echo, damage is what they desperately need. Lissandra isn't it. I know why they're picking it. It's good into the Akali. You can lock her down here potentially. But I feel like it's a very narrow use case scenario for this Lissandra here. And, well, you know, Yaharong, Akali not exactly a champion I associate with him. But with that sort of mechanics here, I don't expect to see him dive into untenable situations. Or never mind, it's not Yaharong's Akali. It's Ebi's Akali?
Oh? Okay. I mean,
okay, yeah, he did play last split. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, we are just. I mean, I'm speechless at this point. But I gotta say, I'm looking at V3 MRMC, and I'm a little worried. We said how early, right, is when they try to make things happen, and they kind of start to struggle and bleed out mid to late. I don't see them making that much happen early on. I feel it's gonna take them some time to actually get into the position where they can make something happen, right? You've got Unica on that Volibear. You gotta wait until level 6 before you can make some kind of a crazy dive happen with that ultimate. Lissandra as well. Obviously, you can definitely get a good gank off, but I feel like DFM are gonna do a great job when it comes to vision control and tracking, and I don't think they're gonna let themselves get caught off guard anytime soon.
That's fair. I mean, for Volibear, I actually feel like level 3 Volibear is like the big power spike for Volibear, where you just run at people and you blow a flash. If you're not running at somebody at level 3 or by level 4, I guess, and blowing somebody's flash, you're not playing the Volibear.
You're doing it
so
wrong.
If anything, yeah, I'm looking at Unica to be that impetus for V3. If there's one place that maybe they can make something happen in the early game, it's got to be off Unica just forcing something in the lane. And you can do it with the Aphelios, Nautilus, if you've got the right guns. You can do it onto Akali, though it's kind of difficult. I guess you could do it to Galio. I don't think they actually have enough damage to kill Galio with Lissandra Volibear early. It's got to be one of the side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, right? Because if you look to run to that bot lane, if you even mistime it slightly and get hit by that handshake, like it's all gonna be for naught. It's like you said, you go into mid lane, Akali's just gonna drop the shroud, right? If he's not already have it, and then just walk circles around you and then walk back to turret, and it's like you did nothing at all. And I mean, like, what are you gonna do to Galio, bro? He's gonna stand there. He's gonna be like, let's get going. Let's fight it out. Let's duke it out.
But they needed something somewhere, because the other lanes, the lanes themselves aren't going to win. And you look at Aphelios, Nautilus, that's not a winning combo. Lissandra will do fine into Galio, but it's like a handshake lane. Galio pushes a little bit faster and roams a little bit faster. Top side of Kali will beat out Nar, so you had to pick an early game jungler which could do something, anything here. And speaking of the lanes for DFM, my eyes are on this bot lane, because when you pick a Kalista, you pick it for pressure here. And we've seen Yutapon and Harp really know how to abuse a winning matchup here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see first blood happen in that bot side, pre 5-6 minutes here.
Yeah, definitely. Already looking for something aggressive there with that invade to get spotted out by that ward, and so nothing came out of it quite yet. Looking at the runes, looking at the sums. Anything striking here? Anything surprising?
I'm sad that we're not seeing Dark Harvest or Predator. Poppy. I mean, Phase Rush is fine. I think Phase Rush is probably what we've seen more of recently here. But yeah, a little bit sad we just didn't see like full aggro early game Poppy.
Yeah, no, that definitely would have been something interesting to see. We at least get the Predator on the Galio. That's something. A little bit of solace there. But you got to take what you can get. You have that opposite start here, so we're gonna be seeing Unica looking to. I guess maybe he's gonna look for that level 3 mid instead, or who knows, maybe goes for that Raptors and then just wraps around bot. Maybe they catch him out. That's how you catch them lacking.
True. I mean, you want to get creative with your ganks. I'm watching Unica a little bit here as well. Red into Krugs is an interesting pathing. It's it's either full clear pod or you're going for the cheese gang pod, and I would actually have preferred to see the cheese gang pod, but there's wards already from DFM here in this bot lane. They really want to get this isolated lane as long as possible, and with the podding for Unica, Usapod and Harp are going to have a very nice long time where they're not worried about ganks.
I was a little worried you're gonna say where they're just gonna start farming. I was gonna like, please no, don't curse this to be another like game from last
no,
time.
No.
Like,
this is DFM, man. We're fine. It's DFM. It's DFM. I even wore the lighter blue to match DFM's colors, man. Like, you can't do me dirty like that.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, mid lane, nothing too much going on just yet. Obviously, Yaharong gotta respect the range coming up from Lissandra here. Just has to use those Wings of Duran to get any damage onto those minions down. Meanwhile, on this bottom lane here, Dresscode and Hetel have been pushed out under the turret. No one really there to help them out at the moment. Unica is going for that full clear. A little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this, once again, it's like we said in last game as well. Like when you expected, hold on, we're going to have to hold that thought because the hook does land. Bit of damage coming out. Wasn't quite in tower range though, but back to my point. When you are expected to lose, that's when I feel you can get creative with it, right? You have nothing to lose.
Yep, and he's now hit level 4, and we haven't seen a gank. I am disappointed. Yep. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day has been ruined.
Your day has been ruined. The rest of the hours you spend before you go to sleep will just your thoughts will be plagued of Unica in the river level 4. His Volibear license has officially been revoked by RMC. The Council of RMC has decided.
Yes, the random council of mobs and monsters right now has decided that Volibear, no bueno. That's it. We did see Steel actually go down to that bot side, checking out the cams, so they'll probably have a decent idea of roughly where Unica's pathing is going to be for the next little while. Abby on the top side, though. This is pre-6, and he's already pulling out Washidai. Washidai has to be careful. They don't base before 6. That perfect execution on a mini now or later on will spell death.
Yeah, definitely gotta be careful with that. And we saw how just pivotal that rage bar is as well, right in that last game. The moment that thing runs out, you gotta be careful. And I mean, with Evie as well piloting that Akali, you gotta be even more carefuler.
Yes, but what's more than careful? Care overflowing, I guess.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, double careful.
Double careful, yeah.
Careful,
and you can see Washington is careful. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Look at me now. You're trying to bring out like the big brain actual analyst point. I'm out here trying to like stack careful. That really showed the duality of man right here.
Hey man, my point was just that Washington is doing the careful with as many cares as you want to full or stack right there. So you know what, it's valid. And Washington, that's the right thing you do, right? Like when you know that there's potential to dove, when you know that you don't have jungle pressure coming through, right play. And so far, V3 doing a good time with it. I know it's only 5 minutes in, and it sounds a little bit like condescending to say, "Oh, V3's doing a good job. They didn't die pre 5 minutes." But like I said, I was half expecting to see a kill come out, 5 to 6 minutes into the game for DFM. So I actually do think V3, not only have they not died, but they're actually doing pretty well in the CS department so far.
Yeah, especially that Midland. That was a pretty good read coming up from Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Honestly, like noticing the moment they are looking at Dash, and he's like, okay, something's coming, freezing him in place, gets away. I feel like the stakes, like we need to just reiterate, right? It's like right now, V3, they're what, 0-24? Oh my God, Evie, yo, chill out. Goes against the first one. Perfect execution, living up to the ultimate's name. He gets out of that somehow. I'm still trying to process how that happened, and that was like 10 seconds ago now. Jesus.
5:55 Echo. They did it for 6 minutes. Yes. I called it. Okay.
Let's go.
That is disgusting. I actually thought Evie should have died to turret on that, but actually got it right before the turret drew the second bead on him there. And this isn't even mini now. Like Evie is just so confident. He went in on against a mega. And I do think it was a bit of a miscalculation a little bit in terms of going in. I do think, mini would have been very, very clean, and Evie ran the risk of dying. But you saw that second take out the perfect execution got him out of range from that turret before it started actually shooting the shot there, which kept him safe. Now Hetel getting caught does flash away.
Yeah, indeed, hot and goes down. Oh, Harp so low, gets the bill. I gotta kill him quick if you want to stay alive. Won't quite find it. Pull out the spears, baby. Doesn't even matter. Gives his life admirably for you to pawn to get the second kill. And already, we're 7 minutes in, and things are not looking good for V3.
I mean, this is the DFM special, right? You always just kind of wait for the other foot to drop here. And in this bot side matchup, I mean, Hetel just not respecting the damage that can come out from this from this Kalista part of me here. And Harp dying honestly doesn't matter. I was actually wondering if you could rend with all those stacks, but as we saw, not quite enough. So Harp goes down, and that's fine. DFM's big KDA players, Yaharong, not Harp. Harp will die any day of the week if it gets Utapon ahead there. And for a 1-for-2 plus shove, I think Dresscode lost an entire wave, maybe even a wave and a half on that particular push. That's a win for DFM. That's how they accelerate the early game.
Yeah, definitely wins it around. Very nice handshake landing as well. They're trying to get the Yu-Gi-Oh, but not quite finding that damage just yet. That glacial path is going to allow Yu-Gi-Oh to escape. But I meant to say this before. I mean, the stakes right now are pretty big for V3. At the moment, they still don't have a single win, and Washidai doesn't have a health bar. There's that mini you were talking about. Goes down. We can just pass over that. But this was the absolute. I mean, come on. Like, I'm trying to just make this point. I'm trying to make this point.
Echo. No. I feel like for the sake of V3, you got to stop, man. The other time you tried to make that point, that happened too. Literally, it was almost like a replay, except this time Ebby didn't have to dive the turret, man.
Yeah, you know, at this point, just go to Lofan. Just look up their win rate, and you'll get the point I'm trying to make. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm not trying to get our boy Washidai killed.
You know what? Maybe the next time Washidai dies, then you bring it up, so that there's guaranteed there's no way it happens again. Yeah, a little bit rough. And DFM now, you know, picking up that Herald as well here. That's just gonna accelerate the pace of things, and I'm curious to see which lane they opt to drop it in, because I think they could do it in any lane pretty much. Mid probably a bit of the hardest to crack right now. Yaharong, I mean, you're on a Galio. The kill threat's not amazing onto a Lissandra here. You pick the Galio for side lane pressure, for the ability to roam down with the Predator, with the hero's entrance there. So I think ideally we probably see Herald like dropped onto a side lane if you're not already threatening to take those turrets down, and then just accelerate from there, get those side lanes rotating into the mid lane instead.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if we see it go down top, right? Evie has just been, I mean, he's just turned Washidai into minced meat at this point. So it's like, what's Washidai going to do? Like, is he going to step? No, he will not step up, because he knows that Evie is just going to take him out. Look at that. Perfect execution. Probably, I'd give it like 10, 15 more seconds until it's up, right? So it's like, once that's up, Washidai knows that not in for a good time. No, Washidai, you got to go, man. Use that speed boost. Get out of there, bro. Evie is hot on his tail. I don't think he actually saw, I'm not sure. Shroud over the wall. Oh, the 5-point strike. No, the 5-point strike doesn't quite find the mark. A very nice use of that Shroud, though, to get on back out of there. And that is going to be some info that at least now they know Unica is heading back to base.
Can I say, okay, I just love the fact that just like, oh, Washidai cannot step up, and he's like in the enemy jungle, like contrary to all logic there. And you're right, he should not be stepping up. He had to take such an odd path route. Now still into the bot side, 3v3.
Yeah, we do see that depth charge coming out onto Utapon. Fade's call to keep Heart protected. Ultimate coming in from Unica, but down goes one. Unica getting lower, but the spears about to do a lot of damage once he pulls them out. Utapon needs to be careful, though. Red-White don't fight, but it doesn't even matter. At least they go for two, but finally will go down the bailout. Not going to bail him out of that one at the end of the day. The Reaper still takes his toll. Utapon goes down, but I still say it was worth.
Yeah, and you can tell that Utapon and Heart, they saw Red-White. They know you don't normally fight, but they were banking on the bailout there. They said that, okay, we can stack this easy. Sure, you kill me, but I will definitely get my bailout. And they did. The promise just Unica managed to answer back here. So not perfect, but it's DFM. They're, you know, limit testing a little bit with their strength here. And despite all of that, they're not going to fall behind. Utapon doesn't get the CS, but neither does Dresscode there. And the start of this fight, it's just DFM being stronger right now. They've got the level advantage here. Utapon just kind of goes in, and they layer the CC just so well. The bailout right into the fate bound face call, the Kalista ultimate face call. Pardon me. Yeah, there we go. And then right here, Utapon, you can see like the bailout. They know they can survive and they can get the bailout there. I think they just underestimated the follow-up damage that Unica was able to provide as well. And so V3, hey, at least they get a kill. Unfortunately, it goes over to Unicorn, and Dresscode is still sitting at 0-2-2.
Yeah, definitely. I also just not really expecting that stun coming out right from Unica that we talked about. That is so pivotal. Stunned him right into the Sky Splitter as well, and that just being enough damage to take him down was huge. And Oh no, it's almost like a replay. I actually seen the Herald getting dropped in this ball, and that is a confirmed tier 1 is gonna go down. And so they're like, screw it, we don't need to do anything more. Trying to get dress code here, are gonna force that flash out of him, and so that is definitely the move. Down goes that tier 1. Gonna look to wow, that was a weird champion action I've never seen happen before. Pulled him in and then pulled himself away again. Now they do see that. Oh yeah, Unica. Actually, maybe they look for something in Unica. They don't have vision, still in the fog of war, but with that sweeper, they do know that Unica is there. Oh, I was trying to find something to steal with that Hex Flash over the wall. It's gonna opt to just take his camps instead, and Unica just has to literally watch as he's being robbed his own jungle, and there's nothing he could do about it. That is literally, there's no worse feeling than that.
I mean, Rob implies that there's ownership from B3 on that jungle. I think that's DFM's jungle, to be honest. The moment that, even before the Herald went down, Steel was already walking in there like he owned the place. Like somebody gave him the keys and he's just in there.
Oh no! Why she died? Okay, don't find it. It's because I didn't make the point. You couldn't find it. I didn't make the point. You didn't find it.
He hasn't died a single time.
Exactly. I'm keeping my mouth shut about it. I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to sabotage Washington. What I didn't mean to say though. I did mean to make the point. I don't know if you've watched Lazy Town by any chance. You ever get a chance to watch that when you were?
Unfortunately not.
Damn, missing out. Yeah, but there is a song where it's like this guy just goes around constantly like, this is mine, right? He goes around to everything like, this house is mine. I feel like that's literally what the entirety of DFM are doing right now. They're going around, this jungle is mine. Your life is mine. And like they're just walking around taking whatever they want.
Pretty much. This entire rift is DFM's here. Now, they did find Harp, and this is technically a numbers advantage for V3 here. They're losing this.
Yeah, they are just losing indeed. Hattel's in the worst position of his life. The red comes out, almost takes him down. UGO maybe gonna look to find something or goes in heroic entrance as well. So many shields coming out. You can't do damage to anyone. Gatekeeper's verdict. Can they find something here? Oh, actually cancel out, but oh my god. They don't care about turrets anymore. They're looking to just dive them. They go ahead and get one. At least they find the kill on Yaharong, but Unica does lose his life. A lot of low HP bars. It was hard to even like just register what was going down in that fight because it's like it almost felt like DFM was like, oh, turret, I don't care.
Well, what happened in that fight, Echo, is quite simple. We got to see a fighting game, arcade game in a MOBA somehow because it felt like a new challenger approaches over and over again. Because look at this here. Look at dress code walking up. They should have waited for dress code. There was no reason to pull the trigger right here. So what should have been a 3v2 ends up being a 2v2. And then, okay, Unica's out. New challenger approaches. Dress code's in. Okay, Hatto's out. New challenger approaches.
Tag Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's go.
Exactly. It just keeps going over and over and over again. And honestly, even this keeper's verdict was kind of funny to me because it was like, okay, maybe I find the kill on it. But then they were like, no, we hold because Yaharong's going in. Yaharong's going to clean this up. And Yaharong's like, guys, I'm too deep. Yeah. It should have been a lot worse than it was. So props to V3 for actually surviving that. And 1-for-1 trade, that's a win. They lose nothing else in the back end. And hey, they even get the tempo somehow to pick up this Herald here. DFM just kind of gifting that over. So V3, signs of life will be enough. My money's a no. But hey, like J-Ro said, anything can happen, right? So maybe the Eye of the Herald will be that stone that they need to trip up DFM here.
Yeah, exactly. At first, I gotta say though, I do feel like I kind of got some deja vu to last game. Like once again, right? You're focusing the Renata, like easily one of the squishiest members of the team, and you can't kill it. Like we saw the exact same thing happen last time around. We see it happen here as well, as we also see the entirety of V3 here, 3-man of V3, not the entirety, excuse me, in this mid lane right now, looking to move into the jungle. They're trying to reclaim some sort of semblance of control of this map, but it's just hard to do. Yujo in this top lane as well needs to be careful. Evie is just hiding in the woods, man. He is waiting.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Lissandra Akali matchup was probably the matchup they originally wanted, so Yujo was probably more comfortable with this, and there's slightly less kill threat for Ebby to be able to find the Lissandra there. Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Ebby, I think, is so far accelerated at this point. It's 2-0-0, and we've not seen Ebby in any team fights so far. Ebby's playing a different game from everyone else. Everyone else is playing League of Legends. Ebby's just playing like some sort of PvE in the top lane, you know, some sort of RPG style game, I guess. Solo. I don't know what's happening up there. And it feels like, you know what? At least nobody's dying. That's a win for V3 topside.
Yeah, that's very true. I feel like I'm about to get like a DM from Ebby, like, hey, make the point again. Make the point again.
I mean, if you want action, you've got the power. We now know that you actually have the power here. We'll see how it goes for now. DFM actually been struggling to take turrets down. They've been sieging up this mid lane for quite a while, and they should be able to take it finally now.
Yeah, and looking to indeed tower getting lower and lower, and looking like V3 maybe see this as an opportunity to go in, but it just isn't. Down goes the first. Remember, they lose Hotel dress code. Going in deep here. The tower doing a lot of damage onto Heavy. The R at least gonna get that kill. Watch he die. Just getting bludgeoned by Steel right now. It's gonna go down Glacial Path. Oh! Huge flash throw to get over the wall there and escape him. And Utica is left to fight on his own, and he ain't gonna be doing no more fighting. He goes down, and once again, Yuzio will be the last man standing.
Steel is cracked. Steel is insanely cracked. I love his Swampy, man. He broke ankles. He just dodged out Yuzio and picked up Unica with the fadeaway. Oh my goodness, I'm in love. Dragon, though, is coming up, and DFM is going to fall back to that. DFM, this is actually a harder take than I expected. I thought they'd just walk up and take the turret, but V3, props to them. They're still identifying when they can kind of fight here. Yes, they lose this, but I think that's more a function of just them being so far behind than anything else. If they were even, this probably would have turned for them, but DFM's just too far ahead. The dives are coming through, and right here, oh man, I could just watch this on replay for days.
Yeah, that was some smooth moves right there from Steel. I'm not gonna lie. I do gotta say one thing. Yeah. Definitely, we need to point out. Actually, Yaharong died. He's died in this game. He's officially, his death counter has gone up by 1. He just cut his KD in half.
Yeah, he went from 80 to like 40. Or
GG, dude. Honestly, that's the win for V3 right there, if you ask me. Like, they don't have to literally win the game. They killed Yaharong. Those big moves already. Who can say that they did that other than my boys over at Burning Core? Not a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, 7 other teams can say that, they've won a game, but only 2 teams can say they've killed Yaharong. So who's the real winner?
Who's the real winner? Exactly. Who's laughing? Oh no, I don't think V3 is gonna be laughing much longer though, with Evie being there. Hetel trying his best to escape there, the hook, the flash to escape there, going in real deep though, Steel trying to find something, but he's just getting Omega CC'd one after the other. The bailout comes out, and the bailout does connect. He's about to die, but they get the kill. No! And someone's gonna reset it, and he survives to fight another day. Steel doesn't even go in, doesn't give it a second thought. He knows his boys have his back, and they do indeed. They keep him alive.
Yo, the build-outs this game have been absolutely cracked, and it's working so well with Kalista too. Utapon's almost always able to guarantee at least 1 kill to bail out his teammates here. I know it's Renata's ability, but I almost feel like it's more on Utapon than Harp right now to get those build-outs popping.
Yeah, that's actually insane. Look at that. Ripto gets dropped. Evie was, I mean, my man was just stalling. He knew something was going on. The moment he went in, I'm like, things really about to go down here. Just using that shroud perfectly as well. And V3 knows something's coming, and by the time they see it on the horizon, it's too late already. The flash, that beautiful E from Evie connects as well. Look at that steal as well. Just gets CC'd, eventually goes down, and then, oh my god, so much damage. Utapon just hits some 1, 2, 3, boom, pulls the spears out, and just saves his boy's life. He's like, I got you, bro. Don't even worry. But they just told Steel, hey, yo, hang back. I got you, man.
Yeah, we don't usually give too much credit to Dress Code here on V3, but I think Dress Code's really been doing pretty, I say this as he dies, but I think Dress Code has been doing pretty well this game. Yes, I know that happened, Echo. I'm still going to say it. Dress Code's been doing pretty decently this game. He's died a lot, but he's also done a lot for the team. I'd love to see his damage numbers at the end of this game, because I suspect it's probably the highest in the team.
Yeah, if we expunge the last 20 seconds, other than that, he's been doing pretty good.
No, you know what? No, we're gonna put that in there. That's a mark of honor. Evie killed him. Evie's killing everyone at this point here, and despite that, it's the failings here, Echo, that make the successes that much more beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a beautiful way to look at it. Beautiful way to look at it.
I'm huffing that copium, man.
You're definitely not the only one right now. 21 minutes in, it's 4-14, 10K gold difference. Things not looking too good. Utapon is sitting on a whopping 3 items and boots. I mean, those triple spears look kind of dangerous. Not kind of dangerous. They look incredibly dangerous, actually.
Yeah, there's not a lot that is going to be able to survive Utapon just pounding at you here. And let's not forget, V3 don't have a true tank at this point either. The tankiest member is probably Volibear, who's completed a Turbo Chem tank. Not even, the the Frostfire or the Sunfire Cape, which give you more tank stats here. And other than that, he doesn't have a completed second item. So everything, even Baron, is getting shredded by this Kalista here.
Look at Heddle, dude. Evie was just waiting for him. Didn't quite hit that 5-point strike.
flag.
Hostile takeover does get dropped. Only gonna find one member, but that doesn't even matter. They barely even needed the ult coming up from Unica, but he still goes down, and they're gonna look to just run him around. Yu-Gi-Oh had to go gold, but actually they're like, dude, what gets you later?
Wow.
The rest of the squad just keeps on going. Washidai goes down as well. Dress code. Hatel running for their lives, man. Hatel does get hit with the Everfrost, gets hit with the Shield of Duran, gets pulled in, and Evie gonna clean up real quick. Actually, Yarong's like, yo, let me have a little something here. Gonna grab that steal. Is so fast. Dress code. They're running him into their own base at this point. Like, Dress code is running for his life and gets put into the dirt. It's gonna be an ace for DFM.
And that could very well be game. Baron buff, still ticking.
No. Unica's still here, man. Don't count him out. Don't count him out, man. Unica's got this. Come on, Unica. You got 2 turrets. Your boy Yujo is up in 3 seconds. You can do. Unica, you gotta stop him, bro. I don't know what the plan is, but you gotta do something right here, right now. He's just kind of watching the turrets go down. The rest of the squad is here though. Now they look for that engage. He was just buying time. It was a big brain strat. He'll pay. He dies. I thought maybe that V3 was gonna get something out of it, and this would have been like a really cool heroic sacrifice, but no, nothing really comes out of it. Washidai though, trying to get a huge ult, but he just goes down and follows suit as well. Dress code goes down to Evie. Hatel about to go down to Evie, the 3-man. Down he goes as well. Down goes the second Nexus turret, and DFM are keeping V3 at 0 wins. Unfortunately, they take the game in dominating fashion.
Okay, no surprises here, Echo. I mean, let's be honest. We kind of knew this was coming. We already said it. The best early game team against a team which has looked best when they can do well in the early game. Now, in terms of records, Ebby probably going to move into sole place for solo kills there because I counted at least 2. I don't know about the others, but the top lane managed to get 2 onto Washidai there. So looking pretty good. And DFM, Echo, this is a DFM we remember and feel.
Yeah, no, definitely. A very, very strong performance. Let's get J Real in here and see what he thinks about it. We can break this game down. J Real, my boy, where you at? There he is.
Yeah, I am back once again, and V3 living up to expectations as always. DFM, though, really are putting on a show, and I will say V3, RMC, you said it on the cast, I think they did a lot better in those earlier stages than we maybe expected. So maybe there is some light at the V3 tunnel. Who knows? We'll have to find out a little bit later in the future, but let's get into draft for this game. Not my favorite from V3. I'll say that. I do agree with RMC. Maybe they need a little bit more damage. I kind of wish they would maybe try Yu-Gi-Oh on something a little bit more aggressive. I think that this kind of feeds back into what we've been saying a lot about teams that are predicted to lose, especially when it's a big disparity between the teams. Just go for it, Just take a shot. See if it lands, Just put Yu-Gi-Oh on something different, something strong. He's had good performances on Zoe. He's looked good on Swain. Give him some more damage, But Echo, how are you feeling about the draft from V3?
Yeah, it just wasn't that spicy. We talked about how, right, obviously DFM very strong in the early game. V3 like to be strong in the early game as well, and the pick Unica on the Volibear had some potential. I mean, we were mentioning how maybe he can go for that kind of cheesy level 3 gank to the bot lane. He just kind of opted for the full clear, and it's like you can't, once again, it's one of those teams where you're expected to lose. Just send it. Go for something crazy, and especially against DFM, you have to make something happen early. If you don't, DFM will give you the 1-2 DFM special that they did. It's called they get a bunch of kills, and all of a sudden, Utapon has 3 items while you only have 1.
Yeah, and let's also talk about this Kalista. So we talked a little bit about it earlier on in the day, saying, do we like it? Do we not like it? This was a pretty good display of the Kalista. RMC, DFM obviously piloting it a bit better. Kalista really staying in form. Were you happy with DFM's draft?
Yes, generally speaking, yes. I was quite happy. I especially love the Akali flex. It slipped my mind that Ebby is the one who actually plays Akali on this roster. He played it more than Yaharong did in spring. In fact, Yaharong hasn't actually played Akali yet. So I especially love, that bait and switch, because they did bait out Lissandra, which I think was a big problem for V3's draft there. If it had been mid, okay, I understand it, but when you're in the wrong lane, terrible. And early game bot lanes for DFM just looks so good, Jero. I think they had one of the best Lucian Namis as well when they actually got their hands on it. Kalista, Renata, same thing.
Yeah, and like obviously it's difficult to do cross comparison. You know, it's hard to take one game and compare it to directly to another. But and I'm gonna ask both of you this: do you guys feel like DFM have shown enough to basically be like, you know what, Sengoku, you need to be really careful, or do you still feel like Sengoku is slightly ahead of DFM?
That's a tough one for me. Like I said, I personally think DFM right now is at the same level, or maybe even potentially a little bit better than Sengoku, because of how they play a bit more proactively through the early game. But I gotta say, in this game, DFM did make a couple of mess ups. I mean, Yaharon did not need to halve his KDA. That was just diving turrets for fun. Whereas the game we just saw from Sengoku, while a lot slower, while not as interesting, just didn't have mistakes. So if we're looking at just today's games, J-Real, I've got to say Sengoku looking a little bit cleaner still.
And what about you, Echo? Do you feel a similar vibe there?
Yeah, I definitely do. But at the same time, I feel like Sengoku does have to obviously watch out because in comparison to the last game, DFM's not going to give you that chance to, because I feel like CGA kind of, we talked about it there as well. They didn't really do too much. They weren't very proactive at the start. DFM, they don't do that. If they give them the slightest opportunity, they will take that. And so I definitely feel like if they're not even, DFM might still be just a little bit above, and Sengoku has to be careful.
Well, that was our final game of the day. Quickly, I'm going to run through the other games that we did get to see. It kicked all off with Rascal Jesters versus Axis, a game which was a massive upset from day 2, but not anymore. Rascal Jesters definitely looking like they're getting more and more into form as they do pick up another win against Axis. On to game number 2, the Hawks versus Burning. The battle for third place was today. Burning started off really well, put some fire into this game, but unfortunately started to fizzle out. The Hawks were able to pick up some pace. They were flying high up until the end of the game where they were able to pick up the win. And then the third game of the day, Sengoku versus CGA. Not the greatest performance from CGA, but admittedly, I do think that's all down to the fact that Sengoku are just so good at the moment. They are really, really performing and they are making a lot of plays. And then obviously DFM versus V3, which we've just seen. DFM picking up another win, which was to be expected. V3 still searching for that elusive win. With that being said, that is all of the games for today. But before we go, and you guys know this is going to happen, it's time for Mess or Impress. Let's get into this one. Who was your mess for today? RMC, you can go first.
Hold on. I propose we change the name for today's game because I suspect it's going to be more relevant if we call it Depress or Impress. Because I think for me, I don't think there was like really messes today. Actually, I think generally a lot of games played out the way I expected. I am very depressed with the way Axis is playing though, so my depress is Axis, and I suspect Echo might be something similar.
No, my depressed is Burning Core, man. I'm gonna have to put a tweet out or DM someone. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't ever want to see that happen again though, because that hurt. I almost contemplated just going back to bed. I just write like in the chat, like, hey, Formal, you can keep on casting, bro. Like, I'm not feeling it after that game, but
I think my personal mess is maybe a little bit of a surprising one. I'm gonna give it, and it's very loose here. I'm saying it's like barely even upset about it, but it would be CGA. I wanted them to maybe do a little bit more in that Sengoku game. I wish they'd had a bit more fire. I feel like CGA have had such good highs, and it's like I want to just see you guys get to that because I feel like they've looked so good against DFM in that first round robin. They were so competitive that I feel like they can actually push these teams a little bit more than they did today. So that's personally my expectation there, where I think they could have done a bit more. But on to the lighter side, the impress of the day. RMC, who impressed you?
I'm going to bounce off what you said. And opposite Crest Gaming Act was Sengoku. And I think Sengoku impressed me with how clean they were. I agree with you. I'd like to see CGA try harder, but I don't think it have changed a darn thing because Sengoku just looked too clean.
Yeah, fair enough. And Echo, who is your impressed with today?
I got to give it, honestly, I want to give it to Harp just for some of those bailouts. But at the end of the day, honestly, it was Utapon was, I feel like, the one who was actually like securing the kills to make sure that the bailout was actually being like effective. So I got to give it to the bot lane of DFM because that was some pristine gameplay, not gonna lie.
Fair play. And for me personally, now again, I'm not just trying to do this to be different, but actually mine is for someone that was on a team that lost, and mine is actually going to be for Megaman today. I think that he actually played really well on the Yone and was actually a little bit of a shining light for Axis. So that's actually who impressed me today. I think Megaman really stepped up, and again on that Yone, he's not found the win, but I do think it is definitely a strong pick, and maybe in the future we see him really pop off on that one. So that's who is my impress for today. So that has been our games. That has been our day 9. We will be back on Friday for day 10. Do not miss this LJL action.